welcome back to Grim Advice with Gretta Myers. You've entered the grimoire with 2 M's. Let's turn some pages together. For a little context, this is the 3rd time we've had to take this video today, so let's just do it. So there's a bear in the title. Is it the same bear from yesterday? I don't know. We'll find out. Without further ado, the Willow Wren and the bear. Once in summertime, the bear and the wolf were walking in the forest. The bear heard a bird singing so beautifully that he said, "Brother Wolf, what bird is it that sings so well?" "That is the king of birds," said the wolf, "before whom we must bow down. It is, however, in reality, the Willow Wren." If that's the case," said the bear, "I should very much like to see his royal palace. Come, take me there." "That is not done quite as you seem to think," said the wolf. "You must wait until the queen comes." Soon afterwards, the queen arrived with some food in her beak, and the Lord King came too, and they began to feed their young ones. The bear would have liked to go at once, but the wolf held him back by the sleeve and said, "No, you must wait until the Lord and Lady Queen have gone away again." So they observed the hole in which was the nest and trotted away. The bear, however, could not rest until he had seen the royal palace, and when a short time had passed, again went to it. The king and queen had just flown out, so he peeped in and saw 5 or 6 young ones lying in it. "Is that the royal palace?" cried the bear. "It is a wretched place, and you are not king's children. You are disreputable children." When the young wrens heard that, they were frightfully angry and screamed, "No, that we are not! Our parents are honest people! Bear, you will have to pay for that!" The bear and the wolf grew uneasy and turned back and went into their holes. The young willow wrens, however, continued to cry and scream, and when their parents again brought food, they said, "We will not so much as touch one fly's leg, no, not if we were dying of hunger, until you have settled whether we are respectable children or not. The bear has been here and has insulted us." Then the old king said, "Be easy, he shall be punished," and he at once flew with the queen to the bear's cave and called in, "Old Growler, why have you insulted my children? You shall suffer for it. We will punish you by a bloody war." Thus war was announced to the bear, and all 4-footed animals were summoned to take part in it. Oxen, donkeys, cows, deer, and every other animal the earth contained, and the willow wren summoned everything which flew in the air. Not only birds, large and small, but midges, hornets, and bees and flies had to come. When the time came for the war to begin, the willow wren sent out spies to discover who was the enemy's commander-in-chief. The gnat, who was the most crafty, flew into the forest where the enemy was assembled and hid herself beneath a leaf of the tree where the watchword was to be given. There stood the bear, and he called the fox before him and said, "Fox, you are the most cunning of all animals. You shall be general and lead us." "Good," said the fox, "but what signal shall we agree upon?" No one knew that, so the fox said, "I have a fine long bushy tail, which almost looks like a plume of red feathers, and when I lift my tail up quite high, all is going well, and you must charge, but if I let it hang down, run away as fast as you can." When the gnat heard that, she flew away again, and revealed everything with the greatest minuteness to the willow wren. When day broke and the battle was to begin, all the 4-footed animals came running up with such a noise that the earth trembled, and the willow wren also came flying through the air with his army with such a humming and whirring and swarming that everyone was uneasy and afraid, and on both sides they advanced against each other. But the willow wren sent down the hornet with orders to get beneath the fox's tail and sting with all his might. When the fox felt the first sting, he started so that he drew up one leg in pain, but he bore it and still kept his tail high in the air. At the second sting, he was forced to put it down for a moment. At the third, he could hold out no longer and screamed out and put his tail between his legs. When the animals saw that, they thought all was lost, and began to fly, each into his hole, and the birds had won the battle. Then the king and queen flew home to their children and cried, "Children, rejoice and eat and drink to your heart's content. We have won the battle." But the young wrens said, "We will not eat yet. The bear must come to the nest and beg for pardon and say that we are honorable children before we will do that." Then the willow wren flew to the bear's hole and said, "Growler, if you are to come to the nest to my children and beg their pardon, or else every rib of your body shall be broken." So the bear crept there in the greatest fear and begged their pardon, and now at last the young wrens were satisfied and sat down together and ate and drank and made merry till quite late into the night. Alright. It gives us a word for Willow Wren that I assume that's the German word for it, and Zaunko with the 2 dots, Nig. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's in the book. Second off, I appreciate, we don't know, it wasn't clear to me whether or not these were the actual king and queen of the birds. It wasn't super clear, and I also don't trust the wolf, and so I understand why the bear did not, make him general, even though he got him into that mess. And it's super shady that they, wait until the king and the queen leave to go into the nest with the young children. Super sketchy, but, that aside, I appreciate that it's not, you think king of the birds, and you think, a peacock or something. It's, grand and fancy, but no, Willow Wrens, yeah, I like it. As far as I'm remembering correctly, wrens are very just simple-looking brown and white birds. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've looked at birds, really. Second off, can we all admire the fox's tenacity? The fox's tenacity for keeping his tail up. 'Cause, man, hornet stings hurt. And if I'd been stung by a hornet, just once, I would have been like, "Okay, nope, that's it, we're going home, that's it, I'm done." Okay. So, everybody clap for the fox. Go fox. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. First off, it's been a while since I've got to do fun voices for characters, so I jumped at that chance with the baby birds. But also, I'd like to make a point that they were a little extra. They were a little unnecessary. I will not eat anything until you defend my honor. That's a little excessive. That's a little excessive. And, at the very end, they're like, "Okay, we won a war against them." And they're like, "He has to come face to face to apologize, or we still won't eat anything." That's a little excessive. Here's my point. Okay, how many things in our lives can be fixed with an apology? Either you have to apologize to someone, or they should apologize to you, or at least you'd like them to apologize to you, or they'd like you to apologize to them. And there are some cases where it's, honorable to be like, "No, really what I did wasn't wrong," or they should not apologize to you. Right? There are some situations where it's not that. But there are so many other situations where it's I'm literally not apologizing or whatever, or not speaking to this person for, I don't know, years for this stupid little thing because pride got thrown into it. That's exactly what happened here. I mean, is it honorable to defend your children? Yes. Yes, it is. However, we're getting there in a second. But, really, it's a stupid little thing. Nine times out of 10, this pride thing, this reason for this back and forth, apologizing, I won't apologize or whatever. 9 out of 10 times, it's a stupid little thing, and it's stupid, and it doesn't really matter in the long run. But because pride has been hurt either way, everyone's ready to throw hands and just completely sever whatever relationship. Right? It's excessive. But how many of us can relate to that? It's sad how common this is. That's what I'm saying. That's my hill I die on. No, maybe not. No. Anyways. Am I saying... we want to attack the bear because, what he did was stupid right off the get-go and really should have just apologized. However, the birds and the baby birds... they also were really stupid. The baby birds could have just been yeah, chill. Whatever, I get it. roll off the back like a duck. I get it, you're Willow Wrens, but like roll it off the back like a duck. Don't let it hurt you. And I recognize that's hard, especially as a child. Be nice to children. Very, very nice. Anyways, but the parents could have, not declared an entire war. Like, honestly, they could have, from the beginning, just been like, can you please just come apologize to my children? Like, that was not good. But then sometimes you need, like, a good kick in the pants, like, I don't know, an entire war to, like, make you see, oh yeah, what we did was stupid. I should apologize. Like, yeah. So, lots of things, lots of little tidbits, but I think this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say, is that you can't be responsible for the other person's actions. Whether that person needs to apologize to you, or whether they hurt you for not apologizing to them and they're being hurt over you doing something stupid and that's making you mad. Whatever the situation may be, you are not... you cannot control their actions. As much as you might want them to apologize to you, and I don't say should, because sometimes they're like in that 1 out of 10 situation where, that is a hill they should die on. Like, this is not something, like, this is serious and not stupid like the situations I'm addressing here. So, if it's that 1 out of 10 situations, ignore everything I'm saying. But if it's that 9 out of 10 situations, it's honestly, really, dude. You cannot control the other person's actions. All you can control is yourself. So no matter what side you are on, you should apologize or they should apologize to you. You need to be the one to flatten the curve of anger before it explodes. Because if you're both escalating, that's exactly what happened here. The bear escalated the situation, the baby birds fueled the parents, they escalated the situation, and then everybody escalated the situation. And it was bad. So maybe you're in a situation and someone starts something, and you're like, don't like that, and then they're like, I don't like that you don't like that, and then you go up, and it's bad. Or maybe they started something, and you're like, no, and then they're like, and it's bad, right? No matter which part of the you're on, very sorry, no matter which part of the mountain escalation caboon you're on, it is your responsibility to recognize, hey, this is not something that I want our relationship to end over. Like, I don't want it to, right, explode. So I'm going to take it back down here and be like, nah. And you hope the other person joins you. Sometimes they don't. And that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is your own actions. And how much better do you feel if you're like, here I am, like, and I know it's hard to be the only one being like, I'm level-headed and calm about this, and everyone else is like, ah! And I know that can be hard, and you're like, sometimes it, makes you bitter, you're resentful, and you're like, well, why do I have to be the one down here? If everyone else is blowing up, like, why is it always me? Like, I get that. Like, I feel you. Like, again, most of this advice is also to me. All of it is also to me. But, like, wouldn't you feel better knowing you did what you could instead of being like, well, everyone's doing it, so, right? Right? Like, just do what you can. And again, why does it have to be you? Because you're the one who knows that it has to be you to bring it back down, y'all. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Like, you could, it's your responsibility because you know that you're the only one in control of your actions and the only one who knows I have to bring it back down in hopes that everyone else brings it back down, but also so I can feel better about myself at the end of the day because I didn't do anything too stupid. Right? It's your responsibility. As a decent human being and as a gremlin, I know You know all the things now, and so you can't get away with any crap. It sucks. Join the club. But alright, my gremlins, thank you for joining us for another happily ever after, or happily, or not so happily ever after. That's up for you to decide, and what you decide is valid, because you're valid. You are. Either way, this is the end for this episode, so tune in later, and we can learn more and turn new pages together.